it's such a celebration. I was able to bring my good friend Megan here. And Megan is all gloved and masked up because we're actually prepping for a big cooking class that we have tomorrow. But we figured, why not share some of the goodies with you guys at home? And I think we have some phenomenal things. Don't you agree, Megan, to share today? Yeah, so once again, it's a fiesta day. So here's what's on the menu. We are going to do an amazing queso, like that queso that you always have at football games or tailgates. We're going to teach you how to make a plant-powered queso. Then we're going to go right into tacos, and we're going to make a no-meat ground meat with a cilantro slaw, and then we are going to finish the day with handmade chocolates. And actually, I should say, we're going to start the day because these handmade chocolates need a little bit of time to set up in the freezer. So let's get cooking. What do you say?
Sounds great.
Awesome.
Mr.
Camera guy, are we good? We got good volume? Good video?
Sounds good. Looks good. Yep.
Perfect. Here we go. Okay, so Meg, I'm going to walk you guys through how to make these and what the ingredients are and where you should source them. And Megan is going to assemble them right here. And actually, Megan, have you ever made any of these recipes before that we're about to make today?
No.
So she's going to actually...
For me too.
She's going to be proof how easy it is. So let's get started. So Megan and I are going to make a double batch. Actually, I should say Megan's going to make a double batch. So we're going to start with 2 cups of cocoa powder. Now you'll see here that I buy a large bag of cocoa powder because I make so many desserts with it. It's a great way to add that chocolatey flavor without adding all the processed ingredients and all those extra calories. So we're going to start with 2 cups of cocoa powder. Once again, we are doubling this. And you can see this is, and then we're going to do 1 scoop of the cacao nibs. So you can see like how big of a bag I buy here. And you can get this right off of Amazon or at any grocer where you can buy in bulk. And then we added some of the cacao nibs, which is just the nibs from the cocoa bean plant, and they are amazing. Then we're gonna add some of our nut butter. So today what we're choosing to use is peanut butter. And one thing I love to tell people when you're buying your peanut butter, because I know there's so many options, make sure on the back of the label, it just says peanuts, and the other ingredient that it could say is salt, but it doesn't need any extra oils or sugars, molasses. It needs none of that, just peanuts and maybe some salt. So I get this brand right from Whole Foods. I think it's a super buy. I love this. So this is just good old-fashioned peanut butter we're using, but you can use almond butter, cashew butter, and any other seed butter if you do have a nut allergy. So what is the next? Let's go in. We got to sweeten these up, right? These are handmade chocolates. So instead of using any refined sugars, we're actually going to use some real maple syrup. So if you want to add that in, this is the maple syrup I always keep on hand. You can also use agave or even honey. This is the maple syrup that you'll want versus avoid those ones that have extra fillers in it, that maybe has an ant on it or a log cabin, and try to get something like this. I will warn you, this is just a little bit more pricey, but it has so much more flavor, and you don't have, and there's no added, high fructose corn syrup or any fillers, and it's so delicious. It will have more flavor than any added, those other syrups that you've ever tried. And then we're gonna add some coconut oil. And the one thing you wanna make sure when you're using a coconut oil, generally it's gonna come and it'll be solid. So all you'll do is you're gonna measure it out, put it in a microwave safe bowl like Megan has here, and you'll just microwave it for a few seconds and it will soften up until it's a complete liquid. So you'll want that so it can be easily distributed. And then let's just add our final flavorings, which are just some almond extract and some vanilla extract. And just a little key tip for at home. Normally, I always call for 1 teaspoon in my desserts, and these little caps generally are already a 1 teaspoon, so you don't have to bother dirtying another teaspoon. So we'll do a few teaspoons of each of those, and that's how quickly these come together. So while Megan finishes adding in our almond extract, and I'm not kidding, these chocolates are, I always say they're in my freezer, and Megan actually wanted to try one before we started, and I said the last one we ate last night. So that's why we're even making more today, a double batch in fact, because they're so good. They're a perfect snack, I shouldn't say snack, a perfect dessert or snack when you have a little bit of a sweet tooth, but it's all real ingredients. There's no added fillers here, and these are like the best chocolates you will ever have. I also love having them in my freezer, not only for when my family's craving little sweets, but you can entertain with these. With the holidays coming up, put these on a really beautiful decorative tray, store them in the freezer, and when it's dessert time, pass them around. They are amazing. And what do you think about how that's coming together?
Looks fantastic.
Doesn't it look so good?
It smells great too.
So the key thing when you are mixing it, you'll just want to make sure that the peanut butter isn't like clumping in one area, which Megan's doing a great job. And I prefer using just a large fork to bring this together. You can use a whisk, but for some reason I find whisks get, I don't know, they just get so clunked up with the batter that then you have to end up clearing it off, and then I just want to eat the batter. So once it is mixed through, let me move these. Let's get these out of sight. Then how I love to make them, you can line a baking sheet with some non-stick, or I just like to use like my good old-fashioned muffin tin, and I'll show you why, because they make the perfect little molds. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to let you do it because you are appropriately gloved up. And then I do about 1 heaping tablespoon per muffin tin. And then any extra, we'll just scoop on the top to any of them that look a little small. And these just set up in the freezer. They're no bake. This is something too that your kiddos can help you with. Oh, you want me to get you another spoon?
Yes, please.
Might be a little easier. I'll be your sous chef. There you go. And once you fill them, I can help you pat them down. And actually too, while Megan is getting these all filled, I should say, I'll show you guys a really easy, it's called dirty rice. So every fiesta, besides having a taco, we always love having that amazing Mexican rice that has that yellow twinge to it. And I want to show you quickly how I do that. So I just start with a large platter, okay, like here. And then, sorry that I'm running behind you. We're going to use some easy pantry staples. So a can of Rotel, or like a tomato with chilies in it, to give you a little bite. And you can buy that mild, or you can buy it hot, whatever you'd like. And then my handy dandy rice cooker. So I made this right before we started, and that is hot. I made this right before we started. And I always recommend, I love having a batch of rice. And can you see that yellow color? I love having a batch of rice. I normally make them on Sundays, and just keep this in my fridge because it makes a really easy lunch and or dinner. So you'll just scoop this out. And why this is yellow, I'm not kidding, this is hot. I should grab some hot pads. So why this is yellow, I recommend using a organic brown rice, but I just add some flavorings into the rice cooker, and one of those flavorings is turmeric. So when you add the turmeric, you're going to get this beautiful yellow rice, just like you would have in a Mexican restaurant. But how I want to plant power it up is we're going to add a bag of cauliflower rice. Now all I did to prepare this cauliflower rice was just follow the instructions on the back. And so what you'll do, you'll take this, add it to your whole grain brown rice. So now you're getting about, for every cup of rice, you're getting a solid amount of great veggies. How's it coming over there? Looking good?
Looking very good.
Yay! Yum. So what we'll do here is just flavor this up. So in the recipe that you can get at carrieralston.com, or you should be able to download this if you're taking the cooking class. It's all in there how I flavor this rice. Then we're going to take 1 whole can of the Rotel with the juice. If you don't have this kind of product, you can also just use some salsa. And then 1 can of organic black beans with the liquid. And why I love to use the liquid is because it almost adds like as if we were adding an oil. So it's going to give you that umptiousness without adding all those additional calories. And look at how this just comes together. I mean, does that not look like beautiful? Dirty rice. I'd call it dirty rice because it's got a kick, but you could call this Mexican rice too. Perfect for any fiesta. And then in my family, we love chopped green olives. This is completely an optional ingredient. But what you'll do, let me grab one more fork, Megan, sorry. It's just like the Food Network. There we go. So we're gonna dump in some sliced green olives. Boop. Stir this all together. I can tell our camera crew, or I should say our cameraman's getting a little hungry. Does this not look good or what?
A lot hungry.
We're gonna stir this all together. And there's one ingredient left that I love to add to my dirty rice. And it's just some chopped cilantro. So cilantro has not only an amazing flavor and is just known in so many Mexican dishes, but it's super good for you. So if you were to look at this dish, not only do you have whole grains, but you have vegetables from your beans and from your cauliflower, and then you have awesome, beautiful tomatoes, and then the cilantro. And I am telling you, this rice not only is beautiful and perfect for any fiesta, super easy to make, and it's super affordable. You could, look at how big this is. I mean, you could serve an army, and there you go. Dirty rice, one dish done, and we almost, or do you need another pan, or are you good?
I need another pan.
Need another pan? We're getting a
Well,
little, yeah, let's get one more. Let's get every ounce that we can.
And that rice smells delicious.
Totally agree with you. And what you're gonna see here, Kelly, can we get this shot or should I walk a little closer? Or should I go over here? So you can see how these chocolates, is that a good enough shot? Right, how they're coming together. I mean, yum. And all we're gonna do as soon as Megan is done with this final tray is just set them in the freezer, and within probably 20 to 30 minutes, they are going to be perfect and delicious. So I'm actually gonna run these in the freezer really quick while you finish that. Pause, I'll be right back. I gotta do it in my mudroom freezer. Do we have some music to play while I'm gone? And I'm back. Okay. So while Megan's finishing up those last few, I mean, and isn't it for 2 batches? Look at how much this makes. It is a lot. So if you were going to double this recipe, you'll need at least, what are we going to be at about? How much is 12, 24? So this easily,
30.
so it's going to make 30, which is amazing for the limited amount of ingredients we had in there. Let me put all this away. So let's clean up so we can get our next dish. So in a matter of just minutes, we have our dirty rice made for our fiesta, our chocolate, handmade freezer chocolates, which I'm telling you, once you have these, you will forever keep these in your freezer. And I actually had one gal from the hallway actually tell me she loves to add in her freezer chocolates, her name's Hillary, loves to add just a dash of a food grade essential oil, and she uses peppermint oil. And you can also use sweet orange or something to like beef it up for the holidays, and that would be delicious. So what we'll do is get this last one in the freezer, and then I'll have you just clean this up real quick, and then I say we get on to, what should we do? I'm thinking let's do the no meat ground meat, and then we'll do the queso. So excited, I'll be right back. Freezer time.
I don't know where you keep the sponges.
No, we'll just use a towel. We'll just wipe it down.
okay.
Yep. And I should mention, if you don't have an empty freezer where you can put all those trays, just put in one at a time, and then you can pop them out and put them in a zip top bag, and that will give you more room in your freezer. So we'll store this right in front of the camera guy so he can look at how delicious it is without being able to eat it. And then we will get to our no meat ground meat, which is phenomenal. If you love tacos, you are absolutely going to love this recipe. This is the easiest meat mixture, and it is loaded with nutritious veggies, and it tastes so good. So what I'm gonna have you do, Megan, we're gonna keep the same thing going. I'm gonna have you, actually we might have to switch spots because I don't have a long enough cord. Go. Here we are. So while, there we go. Boom, oops. So what you're gonna wanna do is have your food processor, and you're gonna wanna use the grate like this. So it's got the little holes on it. If you don't have a food processor, you can also use a box grater. Okay, so here we go. And if you want to start, we're gonna do this in 2 batches, Megan. So it's gonna be a half a head of cauliflower per batch and 3 large carrots per batch.
Okay.
So if you wanna cut them down, and I'll get you a bowl to put the scraps in. Now, and I recommend when you cut off the tops, don't just throw those out. Those are perfect in soups, and they're really good. Like my dogs love my little clippings from carrots. Oh, and here, I have a better knife for you. We'll give you the adult knife. And what we'll do too, Megan, before we add I'm gonna have you add the garlic and the walnuts first. Or,
Oh.
no, hold on, do I want them first? Yep, because then they will be on top. So when you start to make this mixture, why I recommend putting the garlic and the walnuts in first is because then when we dump it to saute it, the nuts and garlic will actually be on top of the pan, and so they won't burn.
Okay.
So we'll start with these walnuts. And then I believe it's 3 cloves of garlic, but these are kind of tiny, so you could probably use like 5.
Okay.
And once again, just like with what I do with my spices, I always just buy them in bulk. So you can get great, especially for the holidays coming up where we tend to use a lot more nuts. I just buy walnuts halves and pieces because we're gonna grind this up anyway. And you can save so much money. And if you go on a site, any kind of online, you'll be able to tell which ones are the most affordable and just look at it by the ounce. So this was the brand I was able to find. So anyway, key tip there. So you got the garlic in, so then you'll just turn the food processor on, and then you're gonna push down as hard as you can. Oh. And we might have to take some of them out, because you gotta, there you go. Keep pushing. Ah, okay, hold on one second. We might have just had just a few too many in there. I should have told you. There we go. Boom. Awesome. And then actually you can just leave it on and just pop that out.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then just pop this out and it will turn off. And now we'll add our 3 carrots. And here's another trick that I love to do, and normally I don't think I would define myself as a lazy person, but I love shortcuts. So I have noticed that these little bags of organic, already peeled garlic have been going down in price every time I see them, and they just save so much time and mess. So unless you love to pound the garlic to get it out of its skin, this is a really great shortcut.
Now, Carrie, where did you purchase those?
So it's a great question, where during this year of 2020, which has just been a year, and you'll probably want to perfect. I actually started doing a lot of online grocery shopping. So we have a Whole Foods here, and actually if you have an Amazon membership, they'll deliver to you for free. But of course, I know there's so many services, whether it be Instacart or I don't know, DoorDash. I think that's a restaurant delivery. But there's so many services now that will deliver your groceries to you. And I will tell you, I have saved hundreds of dollars a week because I'm not tempted at the store anymore just grabbing things. So if you need help getting like the staples and what you should be buying, especially when you're shopping online, I am happy to help. You can find my shopping guides at carriewellston.com. So yeah, let's put this down actually, so it will.
I didn't want to talk.
I can talk loud. So do you see how fast this is coming together? Scraps for you. Just pull it all the way up, and then we'll do a half a head of cauliflower. And what I'll have, let me get these out of the way and get this next, just so we can all be on camera together. Let's see. Hey, Mr. Cameraman, is there in that white bag right there? Could you hand me an extension cord? It's in that bag. I think it's white. Should have grabbed that out first. We're just going to use a big electric skillet here. Clearly, if you're the white bags right there. So if you were at home, you would just throw this in a saute pan on your stove. But I want you to be able to see how fast and amazing this comes together. So this is off. I think we'll go like that. This should just be the white or the green one. I can. Perfect, right? So I think once we have that in there, we will actually add in. Awesome, thank you. I'll just plug it over here. Team effort here. Camera guy. I don't know, that's probably a little. We're gonna keep it out of the water. There we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, have you open that mixture. Let me make sure that this is on. Yep, it's on. So you'll just flip that like, whoop. Awesome. And you'll pull the top off. Yep. Turn it to the left. Just like so. And then you'll just dump it in here. See, nuts, garlic on top. And so what I'm gonna have you do is make another batch. I'm gonna start getting this batch going.
Okay.
So here's how I'm gonna make this amazing veggie mixture taste like meat. So there's a few key seasonings that I highly recommend when you're going to go on the plant-powered journey. Perfect, got that in. And it's already sizzling. This is awesome.
Nuts?
Oh yeah. And I already measured these out.
Okay.
So they're ready to go. And then your garlic. Sorry, I took both of them away from you. There you go. So one of the things when you start living, trying to live a more veggie-forward or plant-powered lifestyle is there's two key seasonings that make things always taste super, super meaty. And what that is cumin seeds. Once again, I buy these in bulk. And then fennel seeds. So cumin is used like in almost every Mexican dish I have ever had. And then fennel is almost like a common flavor that you would have in sausage. So I am going to add those to this amazing mixture that we have here, and you will use. Now if it was just me and I was cooking for my family, I would just use my hands. But I am going to measure this out for you guys. So we're going to put the cumin seeds and fennel seeds. I love to get these in toasting a little bit so they open up and become more fragrant.
Okay, Carrie, technical difficulties over here.
Technical? You got to turn it on.
Always help.
Then we're just going to add some chili powder. And I'm using a ancho chili powder, but whatever chili powder you have on hand. But you can't have taco meat without chili powder.
This kitchen is smelling delish.
Is it so we got the dirty rice. And then the last ingredient that you'll have, and I'm doing a shortcut here, is just using some organic taco seasoning. You can absolutely make your own blend, which a lot of times I will. But just for ease, and these were on sale, so I tried them and I really liked them. And then just make sure when you do these, try to read the back of the ingredients just to make sure it's all real spices and doesn't have any, if you don't know what it is, don't buy it. That's what my rule of thumb. Oh man, this is, I wonder, Kelly, can that camera see this saute? Awesome. Like if you can see how this is coming together, and all you'll do is add your seasoning pack. And for this recipe, I use 2 seasoning packs, and then 2 cups of water. How's it coming over there? Food processor meat. Did you ever think you would be making meat in a food processor?
No.
But wait till, once this softens up a little bit, you are going to be blown away at how much this looks, it tastes, and smells just like meat. So I'm going to get some water. Oops, hold on. That wasn't about 2 cups, that's for our queso. Let me grab 2 cups of water. I'm telling you, prepping all this food, even though this is coming together so easily, gets my kitchen a little messy. Okay, so 2 cups of water in, and I believe the only other thing I would add here, you're probably going to add some salt once we're going to let this reduce down so we can try it. And then my family loves it spicy, so I would add, do you guys like it spicy at your house?
I do.
Yeah, so we would add chili flakes, but since we're prepping this for a cooking class, I'm going to keep it on the mild edge just in case, and I'll bring some like jalapeno rings that people can add to their taco if they like it spicy. But some chili flakes in here or some dashes of hot sauce would be delicious, but that just depends on how you and your family love to eat your tacos. You know what I just realized? For you at home, it might not be Tuesday, but it's Taco Tuesday actually today.
Oh yeah.
And look at us making a fiesta meal on Taco Tuesday.
There may not be enough food for tomorrow's class.
I know, with all of us in here. So look at how this is coming together. I'm gonna show you during this camera. I mean, does this not look, is it starting to take on the look of meat, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And it's all veggies. And if you're noticing, at any point you want to make it a little more brown, just add a little more chili powder or even some smoked paprika. Sometimes I like to make this meat and I'll add a few dashes of liquid smoke because it just gives that smoky flavor. But this is just a good baseline. And once you get here, then you can change the flavor profile. So you could take this exact mixture and go Asian. You could add this to a meat sauce and go more Italian, but of course, this is fiesta, so we're gonna go Mexican with this one. But I always love to tell people that I just teach methods. Actually, I think Rachel Ray says that too. I just teach methods, and once you get the method down, you put in what you love and your family loves. You could even make, I think, do people down in the South eat sloppy joes? Or in the Midwest, did you have sloppy joes?
No, I didn't have sloppy joe. I grew up in New Jersey, where sloppy joe is a sandwich.
Yeah, so okay, sloppy joes in the Midwest is a sandwich. So we are gonna actually hold off on that one. We're gonna finish cooking this, Megan, and then hold off on that guy for a minute. So if you want, we'll just end. If you want to even throw these out, I'll give you 2 bowls. And that empty bag, we'll just do a little cleanup. And this is. We should have timed this, but this is how quick this comes together. So talk about a fast, really fast weeknight meal. And another tip is just how you saw Megan do this, we did it in 2 batches. So this is actually, we doubled the recipe. But unless you have a larger food processor than this, don't try to make it all at once because it won't fit and then your measurements will be off. So I recommend if you're going to put it in a large skillet like this, just adding it in 2 batches. But like, hello, right? Doesn't that look almost like we're ready to go? So what I'm going to then have you do, Megan, while we are waiting, while I finish this meat, let's get that into, I'm thinking a bowl, because we can start the cilantro slaw, which is what we top our tacos with. So good. So if you just actually want to we can just leave it in here.
Okay.
And we'll just sweep this all right into our hefty garbage can. Here's a towel for you. Just do a little cleanup. you want, and just open that garbage can lid. And then I'm gonna do a quick taste of our meat and make sure, I didn't add any salt yet, so I'm gonna taste for that and see where we're at. Because some of those taco seasoning packets, depending on which one you have, could be a little more salty than the next. Oh man, this is so good. After we're done, I'll give Meg, this is so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, yum, yum, yum. What I'm gonna do is just get this in a tray for tomorrow, and then get that one in, and I will get you the head of cabbage so we can make that slaw. Hold on 1 second.
I'm telling you, this smells absolutely phenomenal.
Smells like a fiesta, huh?
Yes.
And this, like, I kind of love this skillet. I got this just for the cooking classes. I think this is pretty cool.
Did you get that online at Marketplace?
I did get this online, and actually, a secret between me and you and the rest of the world, our cameraman already knows this. I watched QVC, and so I actually saw this on QVC. It was like a deal of the day. And I got this there, and I'm like, how perfect. So at the cooking classes, we could actually demo without having to use the stove. So what I will do, I meant to grab you the cabbage, and I didn't do that. Do you want to scoop this mixture in? Let me grab the head of cabbage, and this makes the most delicious slaw.
That never failed. Spam call coming in.
Fan call, that's okay. Next time we'll answer all the live calls. So the chocolates, I just got a little peek of the chocolates. Oh my goodness.
Did you snitch one?
I didn't, not yet. They're still setting up. But I would. Okay, so this is just a good old-fashioned head of cabbage. Gonna peel off the leaves. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. So, so good. There we go. So now we have a clean place to start. I'm gonna get you one more. I probably could get you a better spoon too, that actually like scoop.
Oh, I'm just about done.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That one may help.
Okay.
Let me get you one tray, and we'll get you some limes and agave.
Kara, have you turned this off?
Nope, because I'm gonna make the next one.
Oh, okay.
Since we're prepping for tomorrow, I might as well get them both in. So we'll just pop this one back on the stove.
Okay.
But for a close-up, I'll show you, Mr. Cameraman. Ooh, hold on. It's hot. Take a look at how just meaty and delicious this looks. And I'm just storing this in a throwaway container because this is what we'll bring to the cooking class tomorrow. And what you'll also need, Megan, I have the recipe for you right here, is you're gonna need a lime, some cilantro, which I already had chopped up for you. You're gonna need a lime, and you'll probably just have to get that out of the fridge. And some agave syrup, or you could use honey. And you're just gonna thinly slice that whole head, which will be about 4 cups. Where's my spoon? This smells so, so good. Even this pan just going smells good. So once again, I'm gonna get the seasoning started here because it will get all those oils to start blooming. And then we're just finally, shred that. Almost like you're making a coleslaw. And you could buy, you could already buy it pre-shredded, but ooh, the chili butter just got right in my throat. I'm actually gonna do the water first. You could buy that pre-shredded, but one of my staple ingredients that I always have, always, in my pan or in my fridge is cabbage. It lasts forever. It's so good for you. Do you love cabbage, or are you a slaw person?
I absolutely love it.
Me too. And instead of like on a traditional taco, you have sometimes an iceberg lettuce or like a shredded lettuce. Cabbage, being from the cruciferous vegetable family, say that fast 3 times, cruciferous vegetable family, is going to give you so much more nutrition than just some shredded, good old-fashioned lettuce. That will look good, and then you'll just chop it real thin. And I'm going to tell you, Megan, once again, how we brought up earlier in the class, she's never made these. Actually, this is her first time in my kitchen. Never made these recipes with me. So wouldn't you say that anybody at home could do this too?
Oh, absolutely.
But I think the food processor has probably been the hardest, the hardest thing. And
I am not good with the utensils.
no, I mean, hey, that's why you cook. You cook in the kitchen with friends, and now you've mastered the food processor.
I think part of it's being a lefty.
Ooh, that could be.
Honestly.
Yep.
I found out when I was looking for some of my appliances that they have lefty appliances. Like my when I make my spiral, it's a lefty.
Oh, good to know for the lefties out there. And another thing, if you don't have like a food processor and you're just starting your plant-powered journey, what I always recommend is don't use what you have first. You could easily make this with a knife and a box grater, or always go look on Facebook Marketplace first, or any of those like used sites, because if you do that, everybody who gets married always registers for a food processor, maybe some kind of blender, and then they don't use them, or maybe they end up separating, and it ends up on Marketplace. I actually purchased my food processor there. I've purchased blenders there. It's just a really great way to get those items affordably and make sure that you're going to use it. So this one is coming together so quickly. I just have to grab some of the mixes. We have right here. So once again, for each recipe, and this is on the recipe that you can find at carrieralston.com. You're going to use 2 of these organic taco season packets. If you don't want to use these and you just want to use your own blend, go for it. I'm noticing with these taco packets that they require no additional salt, so just make sure that you test before you add any additional salt, because these already had salt added. And something else that I noticed, something I always used to do when I was cooking, I would always add oil to my pan before I would start anything, because I just thought that was what you're supposed to do. And notice that everything that we've made today, we have used absolutely no oil. In this dish, we've used some water. So what I love about that, besides that it saves you so many calories, I find oil kind of expensive, don't you? Like
absolutely.
And
Good
water's
oil.
pretty affordable. So when you use water instead of oil, not only are you saving money, but you're saving so many calories, and really you're not giving up on any flavor here. We get plenty of flavor from those nuts. We chose to use walnuts today. You can use pecans. They're both going to give you that meaty texture that you're wanting. But the cauliflower almost gives you a little bit of the chew, and the carrot just gives you that little bit of sweetness. So it's like a perfect salty, meaty, earthy, but yet sweet mixture. And once again, if it's not spicy enough for you and your family, add some heat. Add some hot sauce, add some chili flakes. Could they hear my dogs in the background? They're probably getting hungry. They're smelling this. Awesome. You cut it so much more prettier than I do. That is beautiful. So we'll just get, when you're done, into this big tray here.
Okay.
In the recipe, I say do about 4 cups, which is about that size. I had a small head of cabbage, but if you had a larger one, it's normally about a half a head. And that's another reason I love cabbage, because I would add that into a rice or to even pasta. Because you saute it down and add it with any of your whole grains or starches, because then you're getting that added veggie, and it kind of blends just right in. Yum! So once again, instead of topping our tacos with an iceberg lettuce that Not dissing on the iceberg, but it really has no nutritional value whatsoever. We're going to give it a flavorful slaw. And let me actually grab you a lime while you're doing that. Easy. Oh, I thought I had the limes out. So the recipe calls for 1 whole lime. If your lime isn't very juicy, because that can happen, just use 2. You could also make this without any lime and just use some apple cider vinegar. I'm going to just cut that in half and give that a good...
Directly on the...
Yep, just squeeze it all. And let me know if it's a good and juicy lime. It felt pretty tender. Now you have a juicer, if that will help.
I think we need a juicer.
Okay. Here you are.
Okay.
And I'm just using agave for this slaw instead of like maple or honey, just because it's a fiesta and it just seems like, yep, so you'll pop it in the other way, flat side down.
Oh, this?
Nope, this side,
Oh, okay.
and then flip it over. There you go.
See, audience, I'm learning right along with you.
Boom. There you go. And then you'll squeeze that in.
Oh, yeah. I know what's on my shopping list.
Right? You can get that. I mean, actually, a juicer like that is so great. And then you'll just throw that in your garbage bowl when you're done. You could also get some additional flavor if you want to zest the lime and add that in. That would be equally delicious. Just give you a little more limey flavor. Let me give this a quick taste. So you have to taste as you go. It looks so good. It is so good. This tastes like taco meat that my mom would make me as a kid. Like, it has that exact, oh my gosh, so good. Texture and flavor, and I cannot wait to have this in a taco shell. Yum.
I think we got plenty of juice out of that one.
Perfect. So then you'll just do about a tablespoon. Do you want to measure, or can you want to estimate? I can get you a measure. Maybe. Or here, we'll just use a spoon. Tablespoon and kind of just drizzle it over. And then we'll get you some salt. I'll sprinkle this. And then I guess, yep, just use that same spoon and toss that together. And then we'll taste it for seasoning. I also love too, with this slaw, oh, you know what, you forgot the cilantro. It's called cilantro lime slaw. So you'll use
I just didn't think we
about,
got there yet.
let me see, how much cilantro do I use? Oh, isn't that funny? It's because it's not on the recipe. Okay, so I would say use
Half
all
of
of
this?
it.
Oh,
You
all
can
of it?
use all of it, yep. So that is too funny. I lift off my own cilantro on the recipe. Because it is, you want it to be that cilantro, limey, cabbagey. And sometimes I love to add a tablespoon or 2 of veganaise as well, just a vegan mayo. Because I sometimes like it a little creamy. Okay, so our,
Do you know when you're cooking spicy and you add cilantro, it's a natural antacid.
wow, I didn't know
It
that.
helps with people that have heartburn when they're eating the spicy food.
Look at that. So those at home, if you have a little bit of heartburn, cilantro can help. That's great to know. And it will help cool your palate down. So in a dish where we're not like loading it with tons of like cheese and sour cream, cilantro will help cool that palate down. So let's scoop this into our tray. I mean, this cannot smell and look anything more like a fiesta. Yum. Here, do you want to scoop this? I'll give this a little taste, make sure that we're right on.
I'll have to get my sombrero ready.
I mean, look at how, I'm going to flash up to this camera. Look at how great that looks. And of course, you would put this in like a beautiful bowl, but this looks so, did you get that shot? Yum. So we'll do a quick taste. taste. So good. I actually even think we could use a little more lime, but it's so good. I mean,
Okay.
And you could add easily, once again, a little bit of vegan mayo if you like it, like a creamier slaw, and you only will use 1 tablespoon, maybe 2. But that is absolutely delicious.
Now I would add the vegan.
The vegan slaw.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just do that? We'll
Because I
add.
like it creamy myself.
Me too. So let's add that really quick.
And you want to grab another lime or not?
Well, let's add this and.
Taste that.
Yeah, because what I do, if you were going to serve this right away at home, and you wanted a little more lime, absolutely add it. We're going to let this sit overnight, so I want to make sure that it doesn't get too limey. And you'll see that that was just 2 scant tablespoons. And it's going to add to this slaw just that little creamy taste. And you saw it, like that head of cabbage. Look at what a big amount of slaw that makes. And it's something like, if the slaw at the store is on sale, the shredded cabbage, buy that. I just always have heads of cabbage at my house. Do you want to give it a taste?
Mmm.
Isn't that good?
That is awesome. Definitely awesome.
So easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Okay, so we have one more thing to make, and then we're going to showcase the chocolates. I almost forgot about them. So the only other thing that our fiesta, I think, is missing is some cheese.
Yeah.
And one thing when you're going on a plant-powered journey, a lot of people are always like, what am I going to do about cheese? I love cheese. And I am a big proponent of don't give up anything that you love, but if I could teach you a cheese that I would say is as good, if not better, than a cheese that you already love, would you be willing to try that? And everybody I've made this queso for is absolutely in love. It's going to have some surprising ingredients in it that you're going to be like, there's no way that could taste like cheese, and it does. So let's just do a quick little swap here. Next time I think we need to get a dishwasher. We'll get this out of the way. I'll let you just get that cabbage right into the garbage. So we got our cabbage. And that skillet, I'm going to tell you, if you need a big skillet like that, that was awesome. That came together so quickly. Okay. Make sure I add the cilantro to remind me to the actual recipe. And then our final one, let's open up our queso. So when you're making this queso, you will need a blender. If you don't have a blender, you can use a food processor, or even one of those like smoothie type of like hand individual smoothie makers. You could use one of those. You'll just have to probably make it in batches. So this comes together super, super easy. And in fact, do you want to stand here and I'll stand here? I'll let you make it.
Sounds good to me.
I think we're going to knock your socks off by what we're about to put in here. You can hear it. The dogs are, I think, barking at the dolphins outside. Okay, so let's start with, do I have the recipe out? I'll hand them to you.
Okay, 2 cups of frozen cauliflower.
Okay, so we'll add that to the blender. And once again, we're doubling this. So that's 4 cups of frozen cauliflower, and all I did was just steam it in one of my steam pots. Next should be cashews. So what we did before we're gonna have Megan dump these in, I just put the cashews in a little measuring cup, put it in some warm water, and then I drained it. I let them soak for like 5 minutes. This is gonna soften the cashews almost so they're more milky, just like the milk that you get in cheese.
Okay.
So I'll add those in. Yeah. And then this is a combination of onion powder, garlic powder, turmeric, and salt. Put that in. And then this ingredient, I think will surprise a lot of people. So I'll talk about this a little bit. This is organic miso paste. So miso paste is one of those, have you ever cooked with miso paste?
Yes.
Awesome. That's a rarity. I normally don't meet anybody that's cooked with miso.
You introduced it to me last week in your class.
Oh, so a form of class. So miso is one of those, it's a fermented food. It's organic soybeans. You got another super fan calling. We're going to pause on that. It'll probably be somebody good that's calling and saying, where do I get miso paste? But so miso paste is just a fermented organic soybean, and it has a really salty taste. The best thing I can describe it is almost like a bouillon cube.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, but I learned this from actually Dr. Michael Greger, who's an amazing plant-based doctor, and he said that this processes differently than salt would, and your body won't hold on like salt can retain moisture, but it gives you that that aged flavor. So when we're making something like cheese, we kind of want that aged flavor.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's how you're going to get that right from that miso. I buy my miso. Now, depending on where you're located, I end up having to buy mine online. I have found very few. I know Whole Foods is just starting to carry it, as well as there's some Asian markets that carry it, but consistently, I always get it online right on Amazon. And then for this, you're just going to need 2 teaspoons of mustard. So just a 1, a 2. And the yellow mustard is going to help us with color. And once again, mustard is going to give you that, it's already been cooked down for so long, so it's going to give you that really rich aged flavor, plus that little tang that actually you normally get in cheese, but you might not realize it. And I'll hand you this ingredient. That's just plain old yellow mustard. So nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast, if you've never used this before, is in the plant-based world, Parmesan cheese. But it's a great substitution. It's not dairy at all. But it gives you that nutty flavor, just like a Parmesan cheese would, or to any cheese sauce. It's going to give you that cheese flavor. And then next, we're going to add water. That whole thing, just 4 cups of water. And then this is the one. Ooh, we're getting full. And you'll do 4 capfuls or 4 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. Cheese, anytime that cheese has got that salty, kind of rich flavor to it. And a trick is anytime you want food to taste a little bit more salty, add acid. So whether it be a vinegar or lemon, it's going to give it a saltier, richer flavor. So that's why we're using vinegar. And then we're going to add, I believe it's 2 full cans.
Carrie, I don't think we're going to be able to add.
Are we at the top? Okay,
Yeah.
so what we'll do is let's blend her up. You can tell we're doing this. Did I get a lid out? Yep, I got the lid out.
Oh, okay.
So we'll always start low. Pop that bad boy on. And then you just want to turn it on. Vitamixes are a little loud, so you always start low and let it start going, and then you add speed to it. So you can start adding some speed. Look at how fast it starts coming together. And since we pre-soaked those nuts, try and hear me. Can you still hear me? And since we pre-soaked those cashews, it comes together, it just blends right up. So the only other thing that we're gonna add next, I just wanna double check that I am doing this correctly, so when you make it at home, you will add both cans, so we should, let's see if we can do it, of Rotel. If we can't, we'll dump a little out. Whoop, right on top. Okay, let's start with 1. We got it right to the top. Okay, we'll start on low again. And this is gonna give us, the Rotel is gonna give us some added flavor in there. You can totally skip this ingredient, but this is what kind of gives that queso flavor. Oh, let me grab, while this is blending, our dish that we're gonna put it in. While you mix it. Okay. So we just want to stop dump, let's say half of the mixture because we got to blend up one more can.
Okay.
Let's just actually make sure it's pretty, it looks perfectly smooth. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this right in a crock pot, just lift it up, no spinning at all.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Dump that in. Yum. Okay, yep.
There we go.
Then we'll add one more can. Get this nice and smooth. So I guess the lesson here is make these in single batches, not double. Hold on, I didn't get it out yet. It is stuck. Make this, I thought my Vitamix would be big enough. Okay, there we go. Splatter. We'll do a quick blend there. Try not to be as messy as me. And yeah, I just always recommend starting slower than faster, just in case anything pops up. I did have that happen to me once and it exploded all over my ceiling, which is not fun. Okay. Then what we will do, perfect. Let me grab another spoon. Pour that right into the crock pot. There you go. Yum. Look at that umptious cheese deliciousness. And when we add a little heat to it, it is just going to thicken right up. And let me just taste it for seasoning, make sure that we're good and we didn't forget anything. And this is another ingredient you could absolutely add hot sauce if you like it spicy. Some people find that Rotel already kind of spicy, so.
And there is a spicy Rotel you could use.
Yeah, ooh, that's good. That's so, so good. Yum. So all I would do here, gosh, our sink is full. I'm just gonna set this on the crock pot. If you were at home, put it in a little bit of a saucepan and just let it heat up and it's gonna thicken right up for you. And I'm not kidding, this tastes just like cheese. It is so heavenly good. Serve this on your tacos, serve it over corn tortilla chips. It's absolutely amazing. If you are cooking it just over your saute or on a saute pan, it will take not even 5 minutes just to thicken right up for you. And voila.
I'm looking forward to tasting
This is so, so good. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. So actually, now, so for the final piece de resist, how do you say that word? Piece de, I can't say it. Let's get the chocolates. That's what I'm trying to say. I think we've used every piece of equipment here. Now, granted, we're creating all of this tomorrow for approximately 30 people. So, of course, when you're making this at home, your kitchen will not look like this. It's not going to look like this because you're not making food for almost 100 servings. But let me go grab that chocolate and let's see how beautiful it has come out. Okie dokie. Now, I don't have a time on this. Cameraman, you probably have a time. How long have we been filming?
58 minutes.
58 minutes. Okay, so in under an hour, these clearly come together. And look at this. Can you see this? How yummy, yummy, yummy. Am I in the shot? Yum. Okay, so what we're going to do, Megan, you have to try this.
Eat them.
Huh? Is eat them, yes. Want to just grab a paper towel and we'll just set it down. So what I would do at this point is I would take these all out, I would pop them in a zip top bag or a container, a freezer that I could put it in. But of course, Megan, she slaved over these, right? These were so easy to make, but you have to try. Look at this. Handmade, cheers friend, handmade freezer chocolates that will, I can't wait for you to, oh, I can't see your face. Oh, it was good.
Delicious.
Yum, yum, yum. This has been so fun. Kind of giving you a behind the scenes of cooking with Carrie and how we prep these amazing cooking shows. I'm so happy, Megan, you were able to be here in the kitchen with me.
Thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Oh, awesome. So for all these recipes, for more videos, check us out. at Cooking with Carrie P. CarrieRalston.com. But Cooking with Carrie P is our channel on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe because we are putting up more and more videos to help you succeed on your plant-powered journey. With that being said, I hope you have a great fiesta. Lots of love, my friends. See you later.